I want to roll the clock back 20 years ago today. You might remember it, maybe even where you were. A major hurricane was rapidly intensifying in the Gulf of Mexico, taking aim at the United States. Of course, its name, Hurricane Katrina. This storm would make landfall just 2 days later, devastating New Orleans and surrounding areas.
Yeah, the emergency response at the local, state, and federal level was heavily criticized. Thousands were stranded for days without food or water. Now, 20 years later, FEMA officials, past and present, they've written a letter to the White House saying the agency is not ready for another major storm, at least to that level.
Some of those with FEMA are now on administrative leave. This morning, our Joe St. George is taking a look, a deeper dive, if you will, at the concerns.
It's hard to believe, but it's been 20 years since Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast, and in doing so, exposed shortcomings in how the federal government responds to hurricanes. In the last 20 years, FEMA has taken steps to improve how they respond to disasters, but now employees at FEMA are sounding the alarm, saying that they may not be ready for the next great storm. 2 decades later, the images are still heartbreaking. Over 1,800 killed, $100 billion plus in damages. For FEMA, the storm is also a dark chapter, as it faced criticism for not being prepared enough and responding too slowly.
It's a bittersweet time for the people in Louisiana 20 years ago.
Mitch Landrieu is a former mayor of New Orleans and says 20 years later, the fear is that the federal government may not have fully learned Hurricane Katrina's lessons. Landrieu, a Democrat, believes that recent staff reductions at FEMA, as well as policy changes like fewer levee inspections, have made his city vulnerable this year.
We are losing a lot of ground quickly because the lessons that we learned are being completely undermined by the Trump administration.
Landrieu isn't alone. Dozens of current FEMA employees have signed a public letter to Congress highlighting their concerns about FEMA's ability to do its job this hurricane season. We oppose the reduction in capability of FEMA to perform its missions, one section of the letter reads. Deanne Criswell led FEMA during the Biden administration.
I do have concerns on if they're going to be allowed to continue with that great work that they have been doing.
And in an interview with Scripps News, says leadership in Washington may be forgetting how Katrina showed the importance of having qualified leaders within FEMA always on standby, ready for the next storm.
Where you have, leadership that doesn't have emergency management experience. You have new administrative hurdles that have been put in place.
The Trump administration has stressed that they are prepared for this hurricane season and that they have already been tested by disasters like the Texas floods. But White House officials acknowledge FEMA's operations may change after this hurricane season. What that change looks like, though, isn't exactly clear. The Trump administration said this in June.
This agency fundamentally needs to go away as it exists.
We want to wean off of FEMA, and we want to bring it down to the state level.
But the president said this in July.
FEMA's been really headed by some very good people. We have some good people running FEMA. It's about time.
Joe St. George, Scripps News Group, Washington.